I want to talk right now a little bit of legal analysis with Joey Jackson. Joey, so these cases were dismissed, quote, without prejudice. What does that mean for Comey and Leticia James?
Yeah, good to be with you, Wolf and Pamela. What it means is that they are not out of the woods yet. Had it been dismissed with prejudice, it means that it cannot come back. To the extent that it's without prejudice, the U.S. Attorney's Office can seek to refile. And yes, indeed, they can. There are two options. I think the one is to refile the indictment. You heard Caitlin speak of it. The issue is the law says that if an indictment is dismissed on a variety of grounds, you have 6 months to file an indictment anew. With regard to the 5-year statute of limitations, we do know that as it relates to Comey, they indicted 5 days prior. Now, Comey's people say, hey, that clock keeps ticking. There was no validly appointed U.S. attorney. The government's position will be no, not at all, that it would have frozen at that time and we have 6 months to go. The second option, as we note, and as they seem to note, is to take the appeal to the Fourth Circuit, which is based in Virginia. That is the appellate court that could look to see if the district court got it wrong. Now, the way I view it, Wolf and Pamela, is that there's a number of issues. Remember that we've seen in New Jersey an opinion that was consistent with this opinion, and that is that you have 120 days to get Senate confirmation. You've got one shot at the apple, and if you don't, then guess what? The district in that specific location gets to appoint the U.S. attorney. You, executive, do not. We saw it happen in Nevada. Same ruling, invalidly appointed U.S. attorney. We saw it happen in California. Why am I saying this? Because there's precedent. I know how oftentimes the politics are, oh, this was a lunatic judge who made a lunatic decision. Nonsense. There's precedent for it. Last piece of this, Wolf, and that's this. When Samuel Alito was at the Department of Justice, he wrote a legal opinion indicating that exactly what this judge ruled as it relates to the dismissal of the indictment on Comey and dismissal on Leticia James is to the 120 days to get Senate confirmation. That's what it is. Now, this Justice Department takes a contrary view, but interesting, if it goes up to the Supreme Court, will he change his opinion on that, or will he be consistent with what he said almost 40 years ago?
Interesting. If the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, appoints a Senate-confirmed U.S. attorney to review these files, could that person bring a more durable indictment against the New York Attorney General, Leticia James?
Well, I think it's going to be heavily litigated. I think still what we have to remember in speaking about this is that this procedural technicality was decided on one specific ground, and that was as it related to a validly appointed U.S. attorney. There are still a number of other arguments, as we know, with respect to whether the indictments would be valid. Is this a vindictive prosecution? Was the prosecution brought about not because there were factual meritorious issues, but because they're enemies of the president? Does his social media feed really feed into that narrative? Was it properly presented to the grand jury? Did the entirety of the grand jury get to see and evaluate what her charges were and what Comey's charges were? So there's a number, what I'm saying, Wolf, is there's a number of other issues, not just the 120-day issue as to whether the indictments are valid. I don't think we get to the merits of any case until we address all of the underlying procedural issues, last point. And that's the Department of Justice for years, historically, is a department that's separate and apart from the president. The president, yes, is the chief executive, but they're independent. They really go after people without fear or favor. It's all about the legalities and the law, the facts, etc. Here, it just seems that there are indeed political motivations that can be argued stemming from evidence, the president's own tweets. And so I think there's a lot to be sifted through with regard to whether these indictments would be valid anyway, even if the department, even if the administration wins on an appeal, it goes back and then these other arguments will come at play.
All right, I just have one quick question for you. You heard our Caitlin Polantz just reporting on all the chaos within the Eastern District of Virginia, right? What do you think the future holds for that office and for Lindsay Halligan?
I think, you know what, Pamela, I think it's larger than that. I'm curious to see not only that office, but what it holds for the variety of U.S. attorneys' offices throughout the country. These offices are about career prosecutors who are about their business. It's not about appointing someone who happened to be my attorney, who was an insurance attorney, who has no prosecutorial experience, et cetera. And so I think ultimately either you get her Senate confirmed, or you get somebody else in there who's Senate confirmed, and you run an office like it should be and historically has been.
All right, Joey, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Always good to have him with us here in the Situation Room.